It's Friday, August 8th, 2025. So we shall start off, as we always do, by saying if you'd like to support our show, you can go to supportourshow.com, where you will see several buttons, 5, I think, total now, that you can use for different support things. And I, about 25% of the time, remember to mention that code OZONE might get you 2 months free on Libsyn. I don't know. Nobody has informed me one way or another. So I don't know how long this mystery has been going ever since I started saying the code. So it may have only worked for a month. It may still work. It may have only worked for a year. I know as much as you do, everybody. So that's the great mystery of our time. I guess one of many is whether that code works. So there's that. And, I almost forgot that we had a viewer email, which I have been meaning to read now for at least 3 or 4 shows since I got it. Let me pull that up. Let me get the mailbox here.
Dear Ozone,
our buddy
you
Mike
suck.
In LA.
Stop with all the chit-chat.
Those I get all the time. All right, here we go. This one, here's the most recent one. Wow, boy, my eyes suck. All right. So, Val Kilmer and Jared Leto are the subjects of this email's Hollywood stories. So here we go. I do like the caveat I guess I should say the prologue bit. Feel free to take this in any direction you like. Oh, we will. Let's start with, all right, now I'm quote. Let's start with Val Kilmer. A close friend of mine worked with him on a few art projects and described him as one of the kindest and most down-to-earth people he's met. He always paid on time. My personal editorial note. That's a big deal to artists, so thank you, Val. Back to the quoted part. And checked if the compensation was fair for the work done. I've also heard Val was consistently respectful to everyone on the crews he worked with. Oddly, it seems some industry insiders are the ones who didn't take to him. On another note, you might recall the story I shared years ago about the movie Real Genius. Check out this article about Gabriel Jarrett, the young actor from the film, which he linked a article on that actor. My wife and I just watched this within the last 2 days, so that's very funny timing that I'd forgotten this note until now. Now, on to Jared Leto. A few years ago, there was a local radio show that ran a weekly segment about celebrity encounters, and Leto was a regular feature. Apparently, he's notorious for collecting women's phone numbers and inviting them to, quote, commune with him, ... naked, end quote. There's plenty of behind-the-scenes chatter about him trying to screw every hot woman he sees or meets. About a year ago, I saw a video about his private island where women reportedly gather to, quote, worship, end quote, him. Here's a similar clip below that gives you the idea. This is the second clip that he's got here.
I hope it's not true, because that explains the ego.
He says, it looks like his antics have caught up with him. Well, yeah. Oh, well, okay. But you know that. So thank you, Mike. But that doesn't say anything about, it shouldn't say anything about ego, because there are star fuckers who will just anything for celebrity. So we know that exists.
Oh, I know.
But, But I don't know. It's not like I've ever heard of any other high-profile people who had an island filled with underage women.
I haven't heard.
So I don't know.
I haven't read nice things about Jared Leto. I've read that he's a bit weird.
I never have.
And that he can be a bit, pervy and and a pain in the ass. Well, honestly, Suicide Squad, for being in that movie so little, he really seemed to annoy the shit out of everybody else in that movie.
Honestly, I have never seen him in anything where I thought he was anything better than okay as an actor. I don't think he was. I've never seen him in anything where I thought he was awful. I haven't seen Morbius, but I never saw him in anything where I went, okay, he's the worst thing in the movie. But I also have never been impressed with him, so it is somewhat odd to me. Because let's take Shia LaBeouf, another lunatic. Right now, LaBeouf is at least very good in some roles. So whatever his personal antics may be, I can watch movies with him and be like, yeah, that's some good work. Whereas Leto, there's nothing I can think of where I went, wow, he's one of the better things in this movie, if at all.
We gotta check the thing.
Look, like I said, nothing where I went, oh, he's terrible, necessarily.
Oh, you know what? Fuck that.
I mean, the Joker, I can't blame him for the Joker because they let him do that, so a director can stop that and fire him if it's that bad. So I can't really entirely blame him for that. That's happened where actors are so off the wall they get fired. So it could happen.
We're gonna do the top 10 best Jared Leto performances.
Oh, is this a list that you found?
Yeah, and then we're gonna see if any of these are movies that would have been better or worse without him. Right?
All right, go ahead.
Oh, good. You know what? Actually, he did have one really good role. I realized. Yeah. Oh, sorry. It's funny. So, Requiem for a Dream. Right? He is very good in that. I will admit that. But he's very good, and everyone is very good in that movie. And that was what I think. Yeah.
Okay. I thought he was fine in it. I don't think he's bad, but I don't.
You just don't think that replacing him would change the movie.
Can I be honest with you? I forgot he was in it. I think of other people in that movie, so that should tell you something.
Oh well, I know that Keith David and Jennifer Connelly pretty much.
That's what I'm saying. Is I remember like Ellen Burstyn is more of a memorable character because of what happens to her.
All right, so there you go.
So I'm not saying I know he's in it, but
I never saw Mr. Nobody. Never had any interest, so I can't comment on that.
Neither. Can't say.
Dallas Buyers Club. He was very good, but I mean,
didn't see it.
Other people can play an HIV positive transvestite. Sure. Little Things, never saw it. Panic Room, totally disposable in that movie. He's an extra.
Again, I would if you had said name the actors in it. I think I would have forgotten.
Panic Room is good, but yeah, he's totally secondary.
Yeah, Panic Room.
Lord of War. Yeah, you know what? Jared Leto is secondary. You could have had anybody with Nicolas Cage in that. American Psycho. Yeah. You know, I thought he was quite good. American Psycho, but maybe that's because I like to see Christian Bale kill him. Who knows? But I will say this. I have always really liked him in Fight Club, mainly because I didn't realize that was him. He's the blonde, the bleach blonde that gets the shit kicked out of him. No, I know who he is,
but does he really do anything?
No, he doesn't. You could replace him with anybody. It wouldn't matter.
And so that's what I'm saying. Honestly, I'm not saying he detracts from a movie in terms of the movie.
Most of these
there's
movies,
nothing he adds.
You could replace him. You know, Requiem for a Dream. Yeah, you could have put Edward Norton in there.
Absolutely,
and it would have been just as good. Honestly, Edward Norton is
better.
I'm saying Edward Norton is the counter Jared Leto, isn't he? Because any movie I think any movie Jared Leto did, Edward Norton could do as well.
Could do better. Well, yeah, of course.
Yeah. So, and in Fight Club, Edward Norton was the lead. So there you go. So yes, no, he's not. He's just a middling actor. You know, people.
That's my point. I'm not saying he's bad. I'm saying he's disposable. Yes. So I don't know why he gets away with some of this stuff because I have not seen him.
Because he's got long hair and he's skinny and he's got kind of a pretty
maybe
face.
He's pretty. I don't know. Yeah, I guess. My taste in men is so off from what I guess most women or general audiences want that I can't judge. I look at the prettiest men that everybody agrees on, and I'm like, I don't get it. And then I think that, Mads Mikkelsen is, a top 5.
Oh, yeah. See, I don't, I can acknowledge that the man is very handsome and very good looking, but I don't, I don't have that.
Don't get me wrong. I do cross over with the zeitgeist here and there. Like Fassbender. I think most people think Fassbender is a very good-looking man.
I want my men like I want my women, dressed up like women. You know,
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
yeah. So,
Yeah.
but I can acknowledge that there are men that are very handsome and very like Christian Bale is a handsome guy. I can look at him and say, "Hey, he's a handsome guy. It's better
Yeah,
looking
see,
than me."
that's an interesting.
You know,
Bale doesn't. I don't get that.
he's
He
not
doesn't
my
appeal to
type.
me.
But I'm just saying.
That's
in
what I'm
general,
saying. That's what I'm getting
but
at.
I know that based on the general social consensus is that he's
okay. Yes, I'm with you on that. But that's what I'm saying is most
he's
of
a handsome
what
guy.
apparently
Ryan Gosling
everybody thinks
is generally considered a handsome guy. Christian Bale,
like
young
yeah.
Nick Cage. Women like younger Nick Cage. Nick Cage now is like a very acquired,
Another one where
strong
Nick
alcohol.
Cage to me has always been a very, very specific looking individual for, I guess, a specific crowd. Whereas I get Brad Pitt. I get that. I see that. There's something there. You know. But,
well, anyway, I hope that Jared Leto. I hope that Jared Leto doesn't ruin Tron Ares because
I think it might be the first movie where he actually ruins it because I dislike him to an extent where if he's that present, I don't know that I'm going to be able to get past it.
He's the co-lead, isn't he?
I also don't think it's going to be that good because just based on the trailer, I don't know what the hell they're trying to do.
Well, they're trying to bring all the shit into the real world, which I guess that was the threat from the last movie, which is that Q wanted to get out. You know, and he was building an army.
There's two worrying things about that trailer to me. One is that Cillian Murphy got replaced, which I think is criminal.
But hold on. But was he replaced because they replaced him, or was he replaced because he didn't want to do it? Because he's much bigger now.
It doesn't matter. Put a dump truck full of money in front of his house, and he'll do it. You know that's the case with everybody. Let's not pretend that anybody, unless it's something where they're like, hey, we'd like you to play a pedophile. There's only certain types of roles where somebody will, on principle, say no to a giant amount of money, right? Robert Downey Jr. was done with Marvel. What happened, right? So that's bullshit. They'll all do it for money. I don't care. Enough money so that you never have to work again. You could take whatever roles you want after it. You do it. That some actors have made that their career is, I'm going to do these couple movies so that I can then just do whatever I want afterwards. So I don't think there's anything they could not have overcome. Did they choose to or not? Fine. That's one. The other is why there's a line about him being biblically strong. And of all the stuff I would attribute to Tron, anything religious has never been present. It's weird because it's such a line.
They refer to him as biblically strong.
Ares, when what's his face, Dylan, is that his name? The Cillian Murphy character, whatever the character, the evil businessman. He says he's biblically strong.
Oh,
that's specific language.
It is, but I've heard that phrase before. I've used that phrase before.
I've heard it too, but nothing in Tron has ever gotten into that area. So I'm like, what are we going into here?
I don't think it's a Christian thing. I think it's just saying he's so fucking strong. He's biblically strong. Like, I mean, that's a phrase I grew up with when I grew up. That phrase was around a lot when I was growing up.
Yeah, okay, that phrase was a lot when I was growing up too, but you put it in a trailer.
Wow. I mean,
and you highlight it. So
they didn't want to say very.
Well, they didn't want to say whatever other descriptive there would have been. When you say that, it is a specific word choice. So I don't know where they're going with it.
I feel bad that it might be ruined for you because of...
I don't care. I don't need anything after Legacy. I'm fine.
Oh, yes, but listen.
You know, so it's okay.
It is enjoyable to be entertained by well-made movies, which is going to be a theme of tonight, by the way.
Yeah, it is.
It is enjoyable.
But once they said that What's-His-Face wasn't coming back as Flynn's son, the train left the station on it for me anyway.
Is Flynn's son in it, or is he completely out?
Well, okay. He's either going to be some kind of surprise cameo, which I wouldn't be shocked by.
Because, like, I would think that his son is a big... I mean, his son and the other girl, whose name I can't remember now. What's her name?
Olivia Wilde. As far as I know, they have both said they are not part of this at all.
Yeah, and that bothers me because they are connected.
But I think that's why they brought Bridges back, because they had to have something connected back to Legacy.
Yeah, except Bridges is dead.
As a hologram.
So he's basically a copy, Yeah,
he's a virtual light. Whatever, that's fine. I mean, it's Tron. That's okay. Yeah. You can have a virtual representation. Yeah. It'll probably be that he stored a message in case they ever crossed over.
He's probably just a program. He's a recorded, he's a Dixie Flatline.
Yes, so I think that the reason they did that is because nobody else from the Legacy is coming back. They have to have something, so they brought him back. That's my suspicion. Because, hey, Jeff Bridges needs money, just like everybody else. And I'm sure they said, yeah, we know you're sick. Would you like something to help offset all that cost? Here's a dump truck full of money. And he was like, sure, whatever. Done. Again, good for him. Fuck it. Take the payday. So I don't care. Yeah, as you said, if nothing else, probably get a good soundtrack out of it. So that's fine.
Hey, you know what? The first track from the soundtrack came out, and I like Nine Inch Nails, and I thought it was a fun song. So
there are a lot of people who say that the only good thing about Legacy existing was the soundtrack. Now, I don't agree with that, but hey.
I enjoyed Legacy a lot, but and I also enjoyed the soundtrack a lot.
If Legacy had sucked, we would still have the soundtrack. So it still would be worth it. Even if the movie was a complete train wreck, you could just listen to the soundtrack. And
my biggest issue with Legacy is that there was more territory to explore.
Well, I mean, realistically, it should have been 2 films back to back, like Matrix and Matrix Revolution, or Matrix Revolutions and Matrix.
But he's
What's the last one? What's the last one's subtitle? Matrix.
Which
Reloaded?
One?
No, Reloaded Revolutions. Reloaded Revolutions. So Reloaded was the second.
But I mean, the thing is, they don't want to. They're afraid that it's too weird. They don't want to put all the money into it. And listen, Tron was not a cheap movie to make. Let us not forget.
No, I agree.
And the price of movies will also be a theme of tonight. So,
but I will say this too: I am happy that Legacy ended without a stinger for another movie.
No, it was a complete story.
It was an ending.
No,
and it was a good ending.
He goes in, he finds his dad. His dad sacrifices himself to save his son. Son gets out with the girl, and they leave you. And they
ride off into the sunset, which she's never seen before. So it's like, okay, perfect. You did the wraparound. You got the whole full circle.
Yeah.
So I really don't care if Ares is shit.
Honestly, the first Tron and Tron Legacy make a complete pair.
Yeah, but you really don't even need the first Tron. Tron Legacy is fine on its own.
Yeah, but Tron is...
Because I never watched the original Tron. It is very slow. I have it. I watched it once, and I went, yeah, I've kind of outgrown this. It's just too slow. The effects are awesome, but I feel weird saying that because normally I'm a champion of older movies and that type of thing, but I find it just too... I don't know. It just doesn't do enough for me, whereas Legacy, top to bottom, I think is excellent. Miles better than the first one. But I've heard people say the opposite. So regardless, like I said, if Ares does nothing other than deliver a great Nine Inch Nails album, then thank you, Ares. We could always use a great Nine Inch Nails album. So whatever. I don't know whether Disney will feel that their investment was recouped just because we're getting a good album, but I will. So I'm okay with it.
The fact that Nine Inch Nails is doing a soundtrack to a Disney movie is like some kind of weird...
That is strange, isn't it?
Flip world shit. But I guess the thing, since Daft Punk isn't around anymore, who do you go for a soundtrack like that? And honestly, that does say something, that they went with what is like an industrial band to do the soundtrack.
They've done a lot of mainstream films. At this point, Nine Inch Nails is very mainstream in a lot of ways.
There's a soundtrack called, I think it's for the movie Competitors, that Trent Reznor did with Atticus Finch. And honestly, there's a few tracks on there that are some of the best Trent Reznor songs I've heard in years. On what to me was kind of just like a throwaway movie, but it's like I like the fact that Trent Reznor doesn't just phone it in. Like he really does try to make like fun, like good music. So like I actually have really enjoyed him doing soundtracks because it feels like he can take himself out of the music a little bit, and I think he produces a better quality of music now that it's not all about his own suffering.
Yeah.
And
I think he got that out of his system in the early days, and now he's on to making...
Yeah, and he's married, and he has kids, and I mean, he's a different person
We
now.
all outgrow our rebellious phases, so...
One can hope.
It's just nice that for some people, that rebellious phase doesn't just result in your parents remembering what a shit you were for a couple of years, and instead gives you some landmark albums in terms of industrial. I mean, not everybody can achieve it.
I would hope that you would not outgrow your rebellion so much as that the thing that you rebelled against, you either succeeded in rebelling against, or the situation changed.
Well, and that's what I mean by outgrowing it.
Because if you're rebelling against a fascist government, I don't want you to outgrow that. I want you to win.
Well, you did outgrow it because the morons died and you're still alive. So
I know.
you outgrew them.
Death is the great equalizer, isn't it?
It really is. So
So,
far, there has been no way around it.
and I
Leave it to these pieces of shit to figure it out, though.
honestly, I really hope, despite the fact that I would love to see more of the universe, I kind of hope that we never do. I think that the
Mm,
moment you start to the moment rich people, because let's be very clear about this, they're
yeah,
gonna have the technology, start
yeah,
living extra long lives, you're gonna have nothing but trouble.
right.
I think Richard K. Morgan best encapsulated that in Altered Carbon. Where it's like you get the Methuselahs who will not
Hmm.
die, and it's like, yeah, trouble, trouble.
Yeah,
Then you have to somehow
yeah,
figure out how to total kill them somehow.
yeah.
Anyway, yeah. Um, yeah, geez. Jared Leto just fucking sent me on a thing.
Well, speaking of good albums, I did have a review,
Oh, do
an
you?
album I wanted to recommend up front. Yep, I do. Because I've been listening to this album for probably about 2 weeks, almost every day at some point. Because I don't know what the total playtime on it. It's not particularly. I've actually listened to it mostly when I've been painting, which has been great. But the album is titled Distance, and the artist's name is Caspro, Caspro. And it is the latest release that came out June 12th, so just about a month and a half ago. And it is top to bottom a excellent album. There is not a bad song on it.
With the C
I
or a
actually
K?
have most Caspro. So Caspro, Caspro, like Caspero except with no e. I'm always tempted to say Caspero for some reason, but it's not. It's Caspro, I think. But if you want, the album is basically it's got a rainbow kind of background, and there's like a Kuntak surfing sand. I don't know how else to describe it.
Hmm.
I'll link to it, of course, on the Bandcamp for it. It's a $2 album. I gave him $10 because I'm like, no, this is a $10 at least album because it is sensationally good. Right off the first track, and it never ever is. There's not a bad track on it. There are people who pick favorite tracks. I couldn't even do it. I like all of it. I've listened to it front to back. I've listened to it on shuffle. It works every possible way. And like I said, I have most of the discography for this person. I don't know gender wise or anything like that. There's no indication. So I'll just say, this person, this artist. And almost all the albums are phenomenal. So I'm really happy that the newest one is too. If I had to recommend 3 albums, now I'll do 5. Distance, the newest one. Coastal Edge is quite excellent. Pastel is very good. I like is Hard Reset the one that has that song I really like? I'm trying to remember because there's 2 of them that I always mix together. Oh no, it's Dark Digital too, I
Now you have
think.
to explain what kind of music it is.
Oh, it's synthwave music. Yeah,
There you go.
it's synthwave music. It's yeah. It's. I think most of the time, if you saw the album covers, you would know. Oh, and the 5th album I would recommend would be Dream Tower. But honestly, I don't think there's any albums I've purchased that I have not enjoyed. I just have a whole playlist of just this person's music. So, luckily, consistently good and very cheap. I always end up paying at least double of what's being asked because I have paid more for albums that have delivered less entertainment. So I like to make it clear to people when they're doing good work. I'll say it like that. So it's hard to review albums. It's not,
No,
like you
because
real other
music.
things, but
We
this
were
is
just
good.
talking about this before the show too. How music is so specific to the taste of the
Yes.
individual. So all you can really do is say, "I like this," and
Yeah.
if people build up a repertoire of liking the stuff that you produce, this goes the same with movies.
Hmm.
Like, there's a few
Yeah.
websites that I seem to line up with like 90% of like their movie reviews. So I tend
Yeah.
to look at them and go, okay, if you think this is trash, I'll probably think it's trash. If you like this, I'll probably like this. And same with music, right? Where it's like, there's certain people. I mean, I think my issue is I like such a varied like swamp of music that
Sure.
most people don't like all the music that I like, but I like a lot of the music that other people like. So,
Yeah.
so I think, I mean, this isn't, do I have any of his music?
Yeah. I think I've sent you some.
He's not
I
Cavern
want.
Dweller, is he? Or that's Paladin.
No, no, you're
Yeah,
thinking
yeah.
of Mortal Peril.
Yes, there you go.
That's really his stuff's very good too. And that's definitely more like dungeon synth. Yeah, this is more of just
Dungeon
general.
synth. Out of curiosity, what makes dungeon synth?
Okay, well, I am not necessarily an expert in defining genre because, like a lot of people at this point, I think genre is kind of a stupid concept
Is it
anymore.
isn't the genre synth?
Well, a lot of people say synthwave both is and isn't a genre. So a synth is an instrument, therefore it's not a genre, because you can make music that sounds like synthesizers and it isn't synthesizers.
Okay.
So anyway, dungeon synth, the way I interpret it
Mm-hmm.
is it is typically more. It's like synth music that you would play for a D&D campaign where you're in a dark cavern fighting goblins. So it generally, in my mind, and it's just
Yeah.
me, so if you disagree, that's fine. It generally, to me, skews as darker sounding, more kind of not necessarily horror, but sinister elements or fantastical elements,
So
as you would find in
Paladin.
a fantasy film.
So Paladin
Yeah.
is considered to be like
Yeah, I would
dungeon
describe that as
synth.
dungeon synth music. Yeah.
Interesting. Okay.
I think he actually the artist name is Mortal Peril. The album is Paladin.
Oh,
Hold
because
on.
it's
I think
listed.
he
It's
actually.
listed. It's listed here as Paladin, and the
Well,
song is
I
Kevin
should say
Dweller.
he actually has like 5 artist names. So
Yeah, I
Paladin is
noticed
one of them,
that.
but I
Yeah,
think
yeah.
Mortal Peril is the one now. I think that's the umbrella one now. But I think I can't remember. I heard him talking about a description. I think he didn't like the idea of being called Dungeon Synth because he didn't feel it was. But whatever.
Oh, you know what?
It's
Actually, you're reviewing music. I should throw one in there. Actually, did you know that Skunk
sure.
Anansi did another album?
I did. I haven't heard it.
It's actually there's at least we were joking about this. There's at least 3 tracks on there that are really good.
Oh, good. Okay.
And I think you'll enjoy it because they're all older now. And the thing is, I don't know about you, but I used to listen to Skunk Anansi when I was younger, and they're still together. I mean, it's amazing that they're still together and that they're still
No,
putting
that is
music.
that is amazing.
Yeah. And it's still got a lot of that kind of punk anger. But there's a really great song in there that I think you would enjoy called "An Artist Is an Artist," and it's basically about the idea that when you're an artist, it never really goes away. That it
Yeah.
just stays with you despite whatever the world tries to. And the lead singer, who I'm pretty sure her name is Skin. I think that's her
Sure,
name.
that sounds right.
Yeah, she's got a totally shaved head. She's pretty intense looking.
Yeah.
She's fantastic still. Yeah, so I like at least 3 tracks on the album. I think the album is worth checking out. It's called The Painful Truth. Especially if you're, you know, I don't know. I think anybody would like it. But for me, like I've liked them for so long. In fact, they put out an album and it's still very good. They're still exploring interesting ideas. You know, it's not just trying to retread old territory. 'Cause, I mean, that's the
Yeah.
thing. It's that like music written by young people is very often about younger themes. Music written by older people is
Sure.
very often written about older themes. So it's interesting to have this music that's still very, very sort of kind of angry punk, and yet it's about older themes. You know, it's about what is an artist towards the end of their life type of things. So
Right.
yeah, I enjoy the hell out of it. There's still plenty of anger there.
Okay, good.
We don't often do movie reviews, or sorry, music reviews.
No, I don't either. Like I said, it can be tough. So
No, but shit, you know what I've been listening to a lot by Total Accent? You gave me the soundtrack to Cloudpunk,
ooh, it's a good soundtrack.
and it's been on my desktop forever, and I always open it and go,
Yeah.
"Oh, I should really put this in my folders. I should put it in my playlist." But then I was gonna have it on the desktop, and I like randomly listened to it, and then I finally put it into my kind of rotating playlist, and it comes up very often now. So
Yeah.
I've been listening to it a ton, and I gotta say, Cloudpunk is a great soundtrack for the car.
Yeah, it's
And
very
it's
good. I like
and
that. I
it's
like
like
that soundtrack a lot.
it's synth, but it kind of like swims and flies in weird directions.
Well, the entire game is driving, so it
Yeah.
makes sense. That's the entirety
So,
of the game is in a cab.
yeah.
So
And I mean,
yeah,
I keep meaning to look up the guy who did it to see if he's got anything else he's done like this.
I think so. I'm
Harry
pretty
Critchley, I
sure.
think is what it is.
Yeah, it sounds right. Let's see. Where's the soundtrack information? I mean, really?
Or
Hold
it was
on.
something that he just specifically made this kind of sound for them, for the game.
Let's take a look. Harry Critchley. Here he is. So if I look up him, I would guess. Oh, I shouldn't say that. Let's take a look. All right, here we go. So here is. Where is the artist name? Okay, Harry Critchley. Here he is. No, I guess not. Well, okay, no, I shouldn't say that because it does show, says music producer, composer, and sound designer from the UK specializing in game audio and film scores. Okay. He has an alias. Ah, more albums under the alias. Okay, his alias is Boketto. Boketto, and there are several albums there. Let's
Boketo?
see. Boketto. Does it
Interesting.
say what type of music? Chill wave, down tempo, dubstep, glitch. So it sounds similar. So probably stuff that you would like. All off the
Oh,
same
good.
record company. Yeah. Yeah.
Wait, it's Boketto?
Yep, that's it.
Interesting.
One of the album's names is Yugen. Yugnen. Sorry, Yugen. Let's see. Boketto Yugen. There it
Oh
is.
yeah,
It's on
he's got a lot of
Bandcamp.
cool shit.
Yeah,
He's got a lot
there
of
you
cool
go.
shit, and he's got some
The
neat
record label
covers
he's
too.
on is described as a psychedelic music label. So there you
Oh,
go.
I'll have to check this stuff out later.
Yeah. Let's see. Is it give a
I'm just
description?
gonna leave that there.
Glitch hop, and Psy chill. Oh boy.
Glitch hop.
Yeah, this
I
sounds like
that.
it's similar. No, that's good. I like it. I mean, the album art is pretty neat too. It's got like a. Well, this looks like a goddamn COVID virus slide, but
I know. So, but like the his album covers in general look pretty cool.
yeah.
So I'll have to check
Yeah.
that out later.
So there you go.
Boketo.
So my guess is that he went under his name probably just for the game.
Oh yeah, for the album, for the soundtrack. He wanted to get on,
And that's
on
probably
IMDb.
because his artist name might be attached to this record label, so maybe he couldn't use it. There's always reasons for this stuff. So, yeah.
Well, we should probably launch into our
All right.
film project tonight.
We're gonna start bad and we'll go upwards, but let's
But it's
There
an
we go.
interesting bad.
You shut the fuck up!
Do, 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 do.
Thanks for killing my mom.
Hey, no problem.
Give me the juice.
Stock is my specialty.
Oh god.
yeah. Yeah. Well, we're going to be talking about 3 movies, but we're not going to spend very long on the first one, I don't think, because
No,
well,
we're
maybe
not,
you will.
well, maybe not on it, but the way it lines up with something else, we might. So,
Sure.
the first movie we're going to talk about tonight is Danzig's Veronica, which I had read was bad, and
And
surprised.
you're right correctly.
It's really bad. I mean, like,
Yes.
it's bad that I stopped calling him Danzig and I just called him Dan. It was that level of
Danny
bad.
boy.
Yeah, Danny. I kept going, Danny, what the hell are you doing here? And I've had some time now.
Danny.
Now, if you hear the commentary we did, you can see me get completely discouraged and hopeless by the end of the movie, where I'm just like annoyed and despondent with Danzig at that point, where I'm like, what the fuck is this, Dan? Yeah. But I've had some time to think about it, and I am going to agree with you on the idea, because the movie is set up into 3 parts. It's 3 short stories, and the connective tissue is like fucking a piece of shit. So anyway, yeah. And I mean, I think at one point you
Just
said,
give me the essence of the thing, the juice, you know.
I think you said at one point, I was hoping that, Danzig's a music guy, that his creativity would kind of, carry over, but it doesn't seem to. And there's another aspect of the movie I want to talk about, but I'll talk about that more when we talk about the next movie, because there's a connection in that. But otherwise, the movie is separated into 3 parts, And the first part, you said to me that you felt the first part was worth watching. And I agree with you. I had some time to think about it, and I agree. The first part of the movie is worth watching because it is actually very funny, which I don't think is what Danzig wanted. I don't think he was shooting to make a comedy, but it is so bad it's fucking hilarious. And I will mostly review that. The second part.
Let's the segment that let's do the 3 segments. We'll talk about
Okay, go
each.
ahead.
So the first segment 1, which opens the film around after the shell, which is this woman who is telling you the tale, which is pointless.
It's a porn star.
But
It's a porn star with devil horns doing gross shit.
Well,
that's it.
Yeah. I mean, there's going to be many porn stars doing many things. In this film.
And that's the thing.
But, yeah.
When the bulk of your cast is porn stars, right? That right there is a sign. Especially if you're not doing an actual porno. Like that's the thing. Is like, listen, if you hire construction workers to do figure skating, you're gonna get some bad fucking figure skating. If you hire porn stars to not do porn,
counterpoint is Frankenhooker. So it's not always that way.
Okay, but all the lead roles in that movie were not porn stars or strippers. Just the people who were there to take their clothes off.
Several people who had a lot of screen time were. The difference was that was a comedy and they knew what they were making.
Yes.
This was a comedy and they didn't know what they were making.
Oh, they didn't know you were making.
Yeah, so
Danzig didn't know he was making a comedy. That's why.
No, Danzig wasn't aware he was making a comedy, and I have no idea what the rest of them thought they were making. But the 3 segments are the albino spider of Dejet, change of face, and finally Drukaja, Contessa of Blood. So,
which is the biggest
that's the order
piece of
that
shit
they
of the pair.
That's the order that they are aligned in. So it's the spider one is first, change of face is second.
Yeah,
and
so we're going to talk about the spider
third.
first. And the thing to understand with the spider one is, it starts out with something absolutely ridiculous, which is that there's a girl who's got eyeballs on her boobs. Now, that's funny. That's kind of weird. Her boyfriend sees them, or whoever it is she's trying to shag sees them, and he's like, oh my God, and he runs out. And then her eye boobs cry, and the tears fall on a spider, which seems to create some kind of hybrid human spider monster that basically has like massive lust that wants to kill fuck women, right? And it can only do that when she's asleep. So then she tries really hard not to fall asleep. But when she does, the big spider, hybrid Spider-Man comes out and basically hate fuck to death, like lots of hookers and women, right? Is that not a prudent description of this short story?
No, it's great. It's just I'm not going to use "kill fuck" as the show title. Instead, it's going to be "Killscrew the Spider."
Well, that's what he's doing, right? I mean,
I agree, but I don't like to use swear. I don't like to use curse words in the title.
About it, where he's like, like at one point, the lead girl falls asleep in the porn theater, like you do. And she's about to get triple raped by 3 fucking assholes. And the spider has awakened, and he's mid hate fucking somebody to death. And you see him, and he's standing there, and he's like mid strangling her. He's got her like a weird bent over position. And he's like, no, Dejet. He's like, I don't want to stop doing what I'm doing. But he realizes that if she doesn't wake up, she's gonna get hurt. So he's all pissed off because he has to stop. And
let's point out, just so people are clear on this.
Yeah.
We never get an explanation for the eye boobs.
No, never.
Just happens. And the man spider, who is so obsessed with having sex, has no genitals.
No genitals.
Of any kind. Nothing.
Nope.
Not even just testicles
just
that would generate this
ripped,
testosterone. Nothing.
Just the ripped crotch of his suit is what happens.
Well, yes. And I do believe that only happens later. I think when we first see him, you don't notice it. So.
And let's add some sprinkling to this, which is that, number one, nobody
some boob tears to this.
Nobody is French, right? Danzig decided he wanted them all to have French accents and brought in a vocal coach, so they say, and made them all French for no other reason, I guess, than to make it fucking hilarious watching all these people.
Would this be the same vocal coach that worked with Al Pacino on Scarface, perhaps, to give him the authentic Cuban accent?
My wife just brought that up tonight because I walked up to my daughter and I was like, hello, my little friend. And my daughter was like, what the fuck is that? And my wife is like, that's a Cuban accent from a movie you can't watch.
That's his natural accent.
Yeah, exactly. My natural accent. Yeah, that must be exhausting to talk like that all the time. So anyway,
Oh, I
he
think it'd
made
be
them.
delightful. But go
He
on.
gave them. Oh man, could you imagine? He gave them all French accents, even though they're very bad at it. And the movie gains nothing from it, right? It's not specifically set in Paris, but I guess they must be. But like, no one speaks French. They all just have French accents. They're speaking English with poor French accents. I mean, it makes it something absolutely ridiculous. It probably helps it become a comedy. And then on top of
Well, it
that,
does.
the fucking Spider-Man makes no sense. Like, he doesn't have genitals, but he really wants to hate fuck everybody. You know, and the special effects on his suit. I mean, it's not the worst thing I've ever seen, but I'm also watching the show Face Off right now, like on the 9th season. And like, when I can watch any random episode of Face Off and be like, the loser's suit is still better than what Danzig had in his fucking movie. It's like, what the hell? And this is a big deal because, you know, we reviewed Frankenhooker last night, which didn't have an incredible budget, but had a special effects guy who knew how to make it go really far. And yet, you know, Danzig had this spider monster. And I mean, it's got this terrible French accent. The lines on its face almost look like it has a French mustache. Like, it's so just ridiculously bad. Like, Danzig managed to make nudity boring. Not so much in this one, but just like as it goes on. Yeah, it's just.
Yeah.
But I will admit, this one, the Spider Story, it is worth watching just to sit there and go, what the fuck is going on here? And then it doesn't really, like, it doesn't really go anywhere. She boob cries on the spider becomes this curse, and then she kills herself because she doesn't want the boob Spider-Man to kill anybody else, and then they all die, and then the spider's like, oh no, you bitch, you killed me, and then the cops shoot him, which I don't really understand because it kind of gets the sense that he's gonna die anyway. So the Spider-Man dies as well, and then the French people are like, oh no, she killed herself. That, is, by the way, is the most painful line, I think, in the whole movie. When the one cop is trying to say that she killed herself, and he's so struggling with the French accent.
I think the waiter might be the worst one.
Yeah, well, yeah,
No,
you're
no,
right.
no, you need
He's
to
pretty
go
bad,
He
too.
can't open his mouth. I don't know
Like,
why,
you
but he
need
can't
to,
open
you
his
need
mouth.
to go home. Yeah, yeah.
You need to go home.
Although the one hooker that the spider kills, who that line is from, if you want to play it again.
Oh yes, sorry. Let me find it. Here it is. Yes, this is when this young lady is propositioned, the man spider
From an
specifically
alley.
requests.
Yeah.
Yes, in an alley where nobody can see him. Maybe it's in France because nobody cares about man spiders in France. The cops don't seem to notice it. So maybe this is common in France. I don't know. I've never been there. But in any event, he solicits her and she says, well, what exactly do you want? And he specifies that in particular he would like to let her experience some violent spider anal sex. And her reply is...
Well, he doesn't... Go
Well,
ahead.
she first says... She says you have very good taste, even though she can't see him, that you have good eyes somehow. And then says this.
As fuck is my specialty.
None of that, I believe, is correct. So that is the line
as fuck
of the
is her
segment.
specialty.
As fuck. Not as fuck. She doesn't pronounce that second S. It's as fuck to my ears. But then again, I don't speak fluent French like these women do, so maybe I'm just hearing it wrong.
Yeah, apparently. So yeah, it's bad. It's really bad. And yet, it was funny. I will admit that it is so bad that it is very funny. I mean, the French accent thing, just... Once... I mean, it's baffling. It's just baffling how...
It is truly and accurately comically bad.
Yeah, like, I don't know how they did it, and got to the end and watched it, and Danzig was sitting there going, "Yeah, that's good. That's I like
nailed
that.
it.
Yeah, nailed it. That's it. I mean, this is amazing. Yeah."
Yeah.
But here's the thing: once you get past the spider, it's not worth watching. I was so bored with the rest of this movie. It wasn't even interesting to me it just, like I said, he made nudity boring. Of the last two, the middle one kind of makes no fucking sense. It's a girl who cuts women's faces off, and she's like, and it's supposed to be all goth, and she's like, oh, I cut their faces off and I wear them, and then like
Well, the middle one also just, there's no explanation of the motives, so we don't know what happened to this woman. She's mildly disfigured because it's a Phantom of the Opera type thing where she's wearing a face.
She's got some grody skin on her face.
Well, what it looks like is she was likely burned, but we don't know what happened.
That's no grounds for cutting women's faces off.
No, and just let's just take this superficially for a minute. We're going to step back and be superficial male gaze guys for a second, right? She is in incredibly good shape body-wise.
They all are.
If I was going to a strip club, well, okay, they all are, but if I was going to a strip club and she had her regular face,
yeah,
I don't think I would be repelled by it. It's
no,
not
I'd
that
be like,
bad.
I'd be like, honey, I'm going to tip you extra. It's a shame about the face.
No. If she looked like the Two-Face from The Dark Knight,
no, she does not. No.
Which she's not even anywhere in that
and
universe.
Listen, you know
and that's
what I'm saying
enough,
is, with enough foundation, you might not even notice in a dark room.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Why was she not robbing banks to get money for plastic surgery as opposed to putting faces on, which some of the patrons of the strip club are repelled by the fact that she's got a bit of a ridge on her eyes. The rest of it, I mean, come on.
Which is the dead
you would not put on a
skin
dead face.
Because she's wearing a dead face.
Like
It's not a good story. It's not well written. It's not well paced. It's not well edited.
But it is somewhat interesting because its dysfunction is fascinating to me.
I disagree with you.
Yeah,
For
that's
you,
fine.
it's fascinating.
But my interest in the second one is: do you not know how to tell a story? The story is terribly told.
We got to the second part, at which point I told Joe that he was the battered wife of B movies. That he always makes excuses where he's like, "Oh my God, he just hit me the one time, but it's still a good movie, I swear. He only hits me sometimes." That's where I put you with this movie.
Well, there is one other element to the second part in particular. Yeah. The first part I would change nothing about because it works as a comedy, so I wouldn't change anything about it.
As a shit thing, that you laugh at.
As a broken, there's several accounts that have the bad. Non-American ripoffs of American toys, and they have the terrible mangling of English. And
if the second one had, if he'd kept the French accent through all three, it might have saved the movie.
Well, the second one, if they had told the story better, could work. And that's the thing that's interesting about it, is I'm like, this is not that far.
See, I think the second one works even worse. Because he wants it to be like a murder mystery where the cops trying to find the killer.
But it could work that way.
And as a movie maker, he is incapable. He doesn't know how to direct a movie. He doesn't know how to create a story. He doesn't know how to. And this is important because when we review the next movie, Samurai Cop, I'm gonna connect these two and show like why two bad movies can be so different and how two bad movies can be such different entities based on the language of movie making, to which Danzig does not speak.
So for me, the second part, the frustration is that I don't think it's that far from being a salvageable story. I don't think you have to radically. No, hold on. No, I would stand by that. Absolutely. I think you could take that center point.
I understand that you have that point of view. I just disagree.
Yeah, all you need to do is you need to add motivation and reason to what she's doing. That's all you really need to do.
No, it's terrible. The fucking strip scenes that are just annoying and go on forever. Like, they just go on and there's like no emotion in them and there's no point to them.
Oh, yeah, no.
Like,
I'm not arguing that you don't edit more out of it and tighten it up.
What I'm saying is, what are you trying to build it up to? Are you trying to build it up to just plain to like D+ from like F? Is that your goal?
I think you can get to a C level where the center story is workable.
I fucking disagree strongly with you. This
I know
movie
you, but I have watched enough movies that I have seen way worse than this. this could be fixed.
Worse than Danzig. What is worse
than the second segment? Oh man, let's see. What's worse than this? I still would say Dark Future is the worst thing I've ever watched in terms of actively insulting the audience.
Which one's Dark Future?
It's like 90 minutes of the middle part.
No. Which is Dark Future?
I reviewed that. I reviewed that so long ago. It's a low budget future movie.
Got it.
Yeah,
okay.
it's a 90-minute version of the second segment. Yeah, it's a B movie. Yeah, very much. Yeah. But it's 90 minutes of it, and I don't think they even had the storytelling of the second segment. Like I understood what the second segment's point was. It just wasn't done well.
I just think that these are, you know what, if you told me this was his student film, that Danzig went to film school, right? And this is one of the first films he put together in film school, right?
Yeah.
I would be like, oh, you know what? Yeah, good job on your first student film. It's the fact that they put this in theaters. They tried to present this as like it was a finished product.
Oh yeah, no. This was like, a disaster, top to bottom.
Exactly. And honestly, I don't even want to talk about the second anymore because it is so pointlessly boring to me. I don't think it can be fixed. I think that.
Oh, I think in comparison to the final part, it is.
It's better than the third part. That's for sure.
Well, all right,
but it's again.
And that's.
Yeah, I know.
That's what I'm saying.
The whole comparing, being like, I know this is shit, but this is more shit. You're like, yeah, but it's all shit. I mean, that's.
Well, okay, so there I do disagree with you. I don't think that just saying it's all shit is a fair assessment of art.
Yes, but what I'm saying is, if something is already bad and then the other part of it is like worse, they're still both bad pieces of art.
Okay, no. Again, I disagree because part 2, I can see elements that could work. The entire thing is not a complete loss. It is not. Yeah, I don't think that's an objective assessment. The third segment is a complete loss.
Oh no, the third. Listen,
to bottom.
The top. I agree with you. The third one is the worst. It is a complete. Yeah. It's.
But what I mean by that is, I can't think of
bored.
anything in the third part that I would say.
Hey, if you want to find a hierarchy of crappiness, but yeah, I agree with you. The first part's the best. Second part's the second best. The third part is the worst. But they still both are terrible. You know, saying that one is worse than the other is true, but saying that they're both terrible is also true. You know? And the first one is only good because they managed to make it ridiculous with the French accents and the eye boob
the first
thing.
one is comically inept.
If there had been weird body horror,
comedy.
Yeah, if there had been weird body horror throughout and shit like that, like, you know, more of the eye boob type stuff, right? It would have been good. I mean, the first one is like, is verging on like kooky, but the second one, I mean, he wanted to make a really like, you know, a dramatic goth serial killer. She wears their faces. I'm like, God, there's no tension here. There's no point to this. It's not a thriller. It's like, I'm bored. I have no idea why anybody's doing anything. The acting is not great. I mean, you know, at least the only thing the second one has is there's a decent face ripping sequence. And then with the underface,
surprisingly good face ripping sequence.
Actually. It was like the one part where I was like, oh, that's pretty good. And then the rest of it was just so bad.
Yeah.
And then the third part actually angered me with how fucking boring it was. It's like, I'm the countess, and I go and I get girls and I bathe in their blood. Look at me, I am bathing in their blood. And then she does it for like a half hour. And I'm like, right, I got it. I'm fucking bored, Dan. Can we move on now? Like, he has better music videos than this. If your music videos, you know what? This is like Danzig. Basically, Danzig, I bet, normally goes to a music video director and says, these are the ideas I have. And then the director's like, okay, we'll see how we can put that together, right? Whereas in this, they usually then try to, you know, control the artist into creating some kind of, you know, decent music video. This happens all the time, where the artist isn't necessarily happy with the music video, and yet the music videos are usually like memorable short films. There's a whole lot of directors that made their money basically creating kind of interesting short films out of music videos, right? Michael Gondry started that way. Was it Mike Resnick? Is that his name? Mike Resnick? think it's Mike Resnick.
I don't know who Mike
Like,
Resnick is.
or was it Cunningham? Who's the guy who did the Aphex Twin video, Come to Daddy?
Oh, yeah, no, that's Chris Cunningham.
It's Cunningham,
Chris
right?
Cunningham.
So a lot of people did this, right? I get the sense that Danzig was like, enough with the directors. I'm going to come in and I'm going to make exactly what I want, the way I want it. But the thing is, he doesn't actually know how to make anything. So he just, he's just doing, the best he can necessarily, but he doesn't have the tools to make a movie. And I'm going to say something right now. As much as I hate Aliens, was it Romulus? Is that the one that fucking hates so much?
Yeah.
Not Romulus. Not Romulus.
Not Covenant.
Covenant, yeah. As much as I hate Alien Covenant, right? I fucking hate the whole nature of that movie and the whole point. It's still beautiful to look at. It's still beautifully filmed. It still has a narration you can follow. I don't agree with the narrative choices. I think they're fucking evil. But I agree the movie looks good, has pacing, is well put together, has actors who are genuinely very good. And I can get past the actual creation of the movie to then say, I disagree with your story. Whereas with this, every component of Danzig's decisions are so bad that there isn't even a story to deal with. Because you're just sitting there going, I don't know what's going on. I don't see what the point of this is. You've basically just invited me here to watch a woman bathe in blood. So that she can go, oh, I'm so different. Wolf, I'm like you. You are like me. We are so. It's like, okay, is this an ad for something? Like, are you, what are you trying to sell me on here? Like, there's no real story. There is almost no beginning, middle, and end to it. There's no narrative. It's like here's a snapshot on the life of the Contessa. She wakes up in the morning, she goes down to the village, she finds a nice girl, she slits her throat and bathes in her blood, and has much glee in it. Oh, look, later in the afternoon she goes for a nice ride in the woods. Oh, and then she finds a little clearing to sit down and talk to some of the local nature and describe how they're connected to each other. Later, there might be more bloodbaths. It's like, okay. Fucking bored, man. Poorly made, poorly told, and, I mean... Is there anybody's acting in this that isn't terrible? No.
Is there anybody's acting who isn't terrible?
No, I don't
think so.
I think no. And the thing is that the next movie we review is Samurai Cop, which is bad as well. And yet in Samurai Cop, there was a police chief who I think if you watch our commentary, I kept saying, I think this guy's in a different movie. Because that guy's acting was genuinely very fucking good. Like, every time he had lines, I was like, wow, it's like, I actually believe what he's saying. Like, this guy is in a different movie. Whereas there's nobody like that in Veronica, where I'm sitting there going, well, this is the standout performance. It's like, no, when the best part of your movie is the fact that you made a dumbass fucking decision and gave everybody horrible French accents, yeah, you're pretty screwed. So, yeah. I'm sorry, Danzig. I'm not rooting against you. I like some of your music. It would have been great if you could have made a goth horror masterpiece. I would prefer. I want to live in a world where Danzig can make like erotic goth horror masterpieces. I would love it. But this is definitely not it. And hopefully this is his first student film, and like 5 films from now he'll make something really great. But from what you said, the next one's even worse, right?
No, it's worse. So I don't think that's going to happen. I think Danny's a lost cause, which is fine.
We've watched a lot of movies together.
Mm-hmm.
And you asked me if this was worse than Drawing Restraint Number 9, right? Yeah. And I said that I would probably watch this again over Drawing Restraint Number 9, because Drawing Restraint Number 9, which for now had the gold crown of worst movie that we never watched.
Until now.
It's 2 hours long, which is a half hour longer than Veronica, which is why I'd probably watch Veronica. And at least the first third of Veronica, you can get drunk and laugh your ass off at it.
Yeah. Yeah.
But the last, by the time I got to the end, I was angry with the movie. I was angry for having my time so wasted, which is an emotion that I haven't had. Even with Drawing Restraint Number 9, I was confounded, and I was like, what the fuck is going on? But I wasn't angry. I'm still confused, but not angry, where it's like, I'm actually angry with the way Veronica concluded. And then, and then he didn't even do anything with that weak ass connective tissue, the porn star with the horns.
Yeah, the shell does nothing.
Yeah, exactly. Because
They
even
were trying for a sexy crypt keeper, and they failed in every respect.
yeah, which is the movie where the boy is telling the woman stories because he's trying to stay out of the oven. Do you know that movie?
Oh,
she's
yes.
gonna cook him, and he gets her to tell him story. I can't remember who's telling who the story is.
I don't remember what the damn
Like,
name
and there's
of the
the
movie
one
is,
story
yes,
where the guy sees the gargoyle, and then he meets the woman, and he's with and he marries her, and he has his whole life, and the last thing the gargoyle said to him was, "Don't tell anyone you've ever seen me," and then at the end he and that one there was 3 stories, I'm pretty sure. And intermixed was that this kid trying not to get killed. And I'm pretty sure at the end, he then outsmarts the woman, and I think she goes in the oven instead of him. And I'm like, okay,
that's Tales from the Dark Side.
Tales from the Dark Side. There you go.
Tales from the Dark Side. I knew it was. I was kept thinking Tales from the Crypt. I'm like, it's not that.
That movie
Tales from the Dark Side
is kind of what Veronica wanted to be on some level.
Tales from the Dark Side is a great movie.
Which is
that's a good version of this.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, don't see Veronica, see Tales from the Dark Side. That gargoyle story, by the way, stayed with me for like decades.
Oh, it's a great story. Yeah, I remember that.
Now, keep Veronica in the back burner here, because we're going to come back to it, but we're going to talk about Samurai Cop. Please give me your... By the way, Samurai Cop is the first movie I've watched with Joe where he's been genuinely sad at the end. And not for a good reason.
Disappointed, that's for sure. Yeah, Samurai Cop is an Iranian filmmaker's attempt to remake Lethal Weapon without understanding what made Lethal Weapon work. That's as simple as I can put it.
It's
a white cop with alternately great hair and a terrible wig, and a black cop who is at various times obviously just told, look at the camera and make a facial expression. And they are disrupting a Japanese gang's attempt to, I don't know what,
and Maniac Cop
I don't know where.
Maniac Cop is playing Gary Busey's role in this.
Yes, Maniac Cop. Is the evil samurai, and Samurai Cop is the good San Diego samurai, who doesn't apparently have a sword.
And the thing about this movie is, I think what made you sad was that all the reviews say, "Oh, it's so bad, it's good, it's so funny because it's so bad," and like you were hoping that it would be more funny than it was.
Yes, this is a movie that is often held up as a good, so bad it's good movie, and I mean I have to be fair about it. It is a entertaining film.
I had a good time watching it with you. Listen, the lead actor can't act. Oh, well.
In comparison to something like Veronica, it is the fucking Godfather. Let's not mince any words.
And that's why I want to compare these two, because the thing is, Samurai Cop is a movie made by somebody who doesn't understand why it works. He's trying to emulate it. So he understands the components of movie making, but he doesn't understand how to actually make it work. Whereas Danzig is a movie made by somebody who doesn't actually have the language of movie making. So he's making something that makes no sense. Whereas Samurai Cop makes sense. It's still not a good movie, but it makes sense. It has a beginning, middle, and end. It has a story. It has various scenes that you would see some form of in other action movies, like Lethal Weapon.
Absolutely.
Except handled very, very poorly. But I will say this. From what I understand, Samurai Cop had like a tiny budget. Like next to nothing.
Yes. And that's what makes the Danzig thing even more,
because I think Danzig had way more money than Samurai Cop.
Yeah, Danzig, I'm sure, had better access to better talent.
Hold on, I want to see.
And chose to ignore it and went with the people he did, and had more money, I'm sure, available, and probably and more of a fan base certainly that would have just automatically gone to see it, and completely squandered it in the way that he attempted to make a movie. Yes, he made one funny segment, but he was not intending to. So, yeah. Whereas Samurai Cop is made by somebody who saw things, understood that they were popular. Yeah.
Veronica cost $1 million.
Yeah, I think we'd look that up. Yeah. And how much did Samurai Cop cost?
You know how much Frankenhooker cost?
It was around the same, wasn't it?
$1 million.
Yeah, I was gonna say. Yeah. It was
Hold on. You want to know how much Samurai Cop cost?
I want to guess 200K, if that.
Hold on.
I'm just
I
curious
looked
if-
this up
if
the other
anybody
night.
really knows. Okay.
And the thing that I saw, oh my God, is that true?
It could be less.
That's amazing. You want to know how much Samurai Cop
is it?
cost?
Yeah, go ahead.
$7,000.
Listen. Yeah.
7,000.
Yeah, I've no trouble believing that.
The fact
based
that
on what we
Samurai
saw.
Cop is that many times exponentially better than Veronica and cost 7,000. That is a guy who understands the language of movies. He just doesn't understand, like, he understands what the components are meant to be. He just doesn't know how to make them work necessarily. And that's why, you got the lead guy who physically looks like a leading, he's a handsome guy. He's got a great body, right? He's got great hair, which he then apparently cut 6 months after filming. And then when they had to go back for reshoots, he had to wear this terrible wig because the guy couldn't afford to get a wig that matched. And it is a terrible wig.
It is pretty bad. It is pretty
But
bad.
I mean, but like the thing is, like, he looks like a leading man, right? I mean, like when he gets his clothes off and he's with the girl, you're like,
he's great shit.
the guy has a great body, but he also is
Yeah.
not a good actor, cannot deliver his lines, and whenever he does any action sequence, his face turns beet red.
Yeah.
It's distracting how
any
red
exertion
it becomes.
makes it look like somebody just threw red Kool-Aid onto his face.
Oh, it's
frightening almost.
yeah. So
It almost looks like a medical problem at points where you're like, are you okay, man?
the fight sequences take place in several places that are all meant to be the same place at once. They're hoping that you're not going to notice how much the scenery is the same and or different.
Mm-hmm.
Like that one sequence where they're running through what is supposed to be a hospital, and like I mean, you were like they've run down the same hallway 6 times. The dentist office that's supposed to be the hospital. They didn't even take the signs down.
Yeah,
Like-
that the signs are clearly there. Yep.
But the thing is,
Yeah.
when I saw that the movie cost that much, because I read something like that, it was so cheap. It's like, okay, I get it. You basically bargain bin priced making Lethal Weapon, and this is what you got. And in that respect, yeah, it is funny. I mean, the Samurai Cop character pretty much wants to shag everybody, gets turned down by the dentist doctor, right?
Yeah.
The police chief is actually pretty awesome. Like his acting is actually pretty good. Their guns change midway through an action sequence, which is actually kind of amusing.
Very amusing.
The director's understanding of Samurai Cop's relationship with women and how women react is very quizzical and says, I think, more about the director, considering that Samurai Cop basically accosts the woman at church and then takes her back to his place to police question her, and then she realizes, no, we're going to have dinner. And then it's like, oh no, now we're at the beach. Now we're making out. Now we're together. Now we're having sex. And it's like, oh my God, that happened within like hours. But I do like that the one female cop that's also sleeping with Samurai Cop then tries to sleep with somebody else. And I'm like, oh, okay. I was like, it's not that Samurai Cop is just irresistible. It's that you're kind of loose and just want to sleep with whoever. That's fine. I like that. Good. But I mean, the fight sequences are kind of weird and disjointed. The logic of the movie is kind of weird and disjointed. I mean, but again, I could see this director improving. I don't know if he does, but I could see him improving. And I could see you making, like, I could see Samurai Cop being a better movie. I can't see Veronica being a better movie. We were laughing at Samurai Cop, but we were also laughing to some degree because we recognized Lethal Weapon. We recognize all the tropes. All the tropes of that kind of movie are there. They're just done so poorly. And you can't tell if it's being done on purpose. Like, there are directors who would have to work really hard to make a movie this bad on purpose. Right? And that's the thing, is that when you realize, oh, no. They're not trying to make a movie this bad. They genuinely thought that they were making a better movie. It's just that this is what happens when you make a movie on no budget. And I think it probably made its money back in kind. They made a sequel. And I was genuinely irritated with Veronica by the end. I wasn't irritated with Samurai Cop. I felt sad that you weren't, as amused by it as I think you wanted to be. But you know what? It was a bad movie. There's some funny shit. I was genuinely curious who Samurai Cop was going to try to sleep with next. And I had fun making fun of it. And I think that's really... I think the best bad movies are the ones that you can have fun poking fun at. Like Veronica, if all of Veronica had been that first part, it would have been an okay movie. Because we talked a lot of shit about it. And it's like, Samurai Cop, we talked a lot of shit about the whole movie. And in that respect, we had a good time. It was an interactive experience. Would I suggest friends to see it? Yeah, see it if you want to watch a bad movie and talk a lot of shit about it. But I wouldn't tell someone to watch Veronica beyond that first scene. And it's interesting because we put everything when we've been watching movies this last week. We put everything on random, and we kind of let it go to see what we got. And last time we reviewed Murder by Phone and Frankenhooker, and Murder by Phone was an utter surprise, incredibly well done movie. Right? It was really good. Frankenhooker, thought it wasn't going to be great, ended up being an amazing horror comedy. Right? But the thing is, it's not like Frankenhooker it's not that it's like an Oscar-worthy movie. It's just a really fun movie. They knew how to make it fun, right? The first part of Veronica leans towards Frankenhooker. But the rest of it is just, melodramatic, unfocused garbage. Whereas Samurai Cop is trying really hard to emulate movies that we know and love, but doing it poorly, and you can laugh at that. You can have a good time with it. In fact, I'm surprised that... I just watched Big Trouble in Little China, too, and that guy, was it Nakamura? What was his name? The guy with the goatee.
Gerald Akamura.
Yeah, Akamura was his name. I'm surprised that guy showed up in this movie. I'm surprised that Maniac Cop was in this movie.
Gerald Akamura is in a lot of what are considered B movies or
He'll
C
do
movies.
anything.
Yeah, and Maniac Cop, hey,
listen,
got paid. I think he was.
And I will say this for Samurai Cop: I never thought that I was going to see Akamura in a romantic sex scene with a woman. Where they for a character actor who plays villains, to have him in bed and be like, "Oh, hello, baby, how are you doing?" He's in his underwear and he's showing off his muscular body, and I'm like, "Wow, I didn't think that I would ever see this in a movie." And then to have Samurai Cop be thwarted by a glass sliding door, it's pretty funny. So I'm not as sad by Samurai Cop as you are. I expected a bad movie that I'd make fun of. It's a bad movie you can make fun of. Are you going to rave about it? No. But, it's fun to watch with a friend.
Unlike a lot of other movies I've reviewed, I have no interest in ever watching this one again. I think that's where I stand on it. It was, okay, I saw it. People say, "Oh, have you ever seen Samurai Cop?" I'm like, yeah, I saw it. And yes, it was amusing. But it's not like a lot of other movies I've reviewed where I'm like, all right, I want to watch this again at some point because there was something special about it. The only thing special about this one is that you know what, honestly, the interesting part to me is, I don't know. I don't want to come off like I'm being too harsh on it. You're right. We had a good time watching it. It was a fun time.
It's okay. Listen, you know what I on one level, I had fun making fun of Samurai Cop, but the other thing I got from it, which I thought was fascinating, was it made me really appreciate good movie making. It made me really understand how bad it can get when people aren't paying attention to continuity. There's all these components of movie making. The people who are there, the continuity experts, and the people who are watching the props, and there's all these people who have got their eye on the prize to make sure that the movie is good that you need. Yeah. And when you don't have them, and it's when you're on a shoestring budget, you can make a pretty bad movie. It makes me, honestly, it makes me appreciate. And the reason I mentioned what do you call it? my brain will not let me retain the name of that Aliens movie because I dislike it so much.
Covenant.
But really, Scott,
Covenant.
it's like even when I don't like the stories that Ridley Scott creates, I cannot deny that his movies are impeccably well made. As a director, right? His movies are impeccably well made films. Do I like the stories on all of them? No. Do I think they all make sense? No. But that doesn't mean that they aren't impeccably well-made movies. And watching a movie like Samurai Cop reminds you of what an impeccably well-made movie looks like and what a non-well-made movie looks like. Samurai Cop. It's like it's a yeah. So I am grateful to Samurai Cop because it's in a good little window where it's not so bad that it makes no sense. It's just well enough done to be like, see, this is what movies could be like if they weren't good. And then you go watch Lethal Weapon, and you're like, oh my God, this is so incredibly well done. I mean, if anything, Samurai Cop makes other buddy cop movies look amazing. So I'm grateful for that.
Yeah. Well, there you go.
Yeah.
But
yes,
like
but
I said,
listen,
I don't want to sound too negative about it because as a entertaining bad movie, it is watchable with other people. When you say a lot of times, "Oh, watch this with other people," I would never watch this again myself. Would I watch this with other people if they wanted to? Sure.
Listen, if you had a bunch of people over and you were all joking around, maybe drinking a little bit, and you wanted to watch a movie that you guys could all laugh at, Samurai Cop is not a bad option.
No.
Right?
But I would suggest Frankenhooker.
Well, okay,
before I'd suggest Samurai
But
Cop.
Frankenhooker is genuinely a fucking fun movie.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. Yeah.
It's so, but the thing is, to me, it's so head and shoulders above all these other ones.
Well, it is, yeah. I mean, it just depends on the audience.
Listen, Danzig.
So.
Danzig would be so fucking lucky to be able to make Frankenhooker. That's where we're at.
No. Well, okay, now here's the part where you'll probably disagree with me, or maybe you won't. But if the choice was between Samurai Cop and just watching the first segment of Veronica, I would put on the first segment of Veronica.
Oh, that's tough. That's tough.
Just the first segment, and then I'd stop it.
Just the first segment. Only because it's shorter. And
also because I think it's more batshit insane on the decisions made.
Yeah, and I said to you, if all of the Danzig movie was Veronica, or was the albino spider story, it would have been better, But he wasn't making a comedy. I think that's the key thing here. Like the guy making Samurai Cop, yeah.
But imagine that they were all set in France with the accents.
The accents would have improved them.
If it was, Glenn Danny Boy Ziggs, Tales from the Rue Morgue.
But I mean, I still don't understand. I mean, listen, it was a stroke of genius. But again, I read that apparently in the opening for this movie, people were laughing and he couldn't understand why they were laughing.
No.
Scenes.
He was trying to do it seriously. I get that, but that's okay. Yeah. You can put that aside. But I think even the second segment, if it was all in French with the French accents, I mean, I think that would save it. Not the third segment. The third segment is just too goddamn slow.
It might make it better.
It's just too slow.
It might make it better. You know what would make the third part funnier? If there had been a French commentator describing what was going on. Like a French narrator.
A Greek chorus of French people?
Oh,
yeah, sure.
I mean, that would have, at least there would have been something to laugh at.
Oh, no. What you need, remember in, what is it? Little Shop of Horrors, how the dancers will come out and sing between the segments. Yes. You need that with French can dancers in the third segment to come out.
French
and
chorus.
With French accents be singing about the bathing in blood, in those terrible accents. That would work. That would save it.
Yeah, well, there you go.
Like when she's just riding the horse randomly, the three of them are on horses behind her singing in French about the fact that she's riding a horse. That would make it work.
What was it? Oh God! What was the movie we watched where the guy's got the backup singers that come out of nowhere whenever he's having a huge metal sequence?
Oh, Sons of Steel.
Sons of Steel. Yeah. So he has the random backup singers that show up when he's having a moment.
Yeah. That would work.
And you know what? Sons of Steel is a great example because that's also a low budget kind of wackadoo movie, right?
Oh yeah.
And still a million times better than Veronica. Danzig
Yes.
would love to be able to make Sons of Steel, which he cannot.
Oh, I agree. It is shocking that what Danzig should have made was a Sons of Steel for horror and didn't.
Yeah.
Because Sons of Steel has a lead who is just in his own world, doing his own thing, which I feels like Danzig does a lot of the time. And they made a movie that is centered around his musical ability and also somehow reflects him as a person. I don't think they meant to, but they found the right person.
Yeah. Yeah. And the thing is like, you're saying you don't want to, dump on Samurai Cop.
Well, because to be fair, you're correct. That comparing Veronica to Samurai Cop is you do see how much better Samurai Cop is.
Yeah. But the thing is,
he did understand story construction.
I don't want to root against people and needlessly hate on them because, and like I said, I don't like Veronica, but I do want Danzig to succeed. I want him to make goth horror erotica movies. I just want them to be good. Sure. And I think that he needs some help. He needs some.
Well, that I think we can both agree on wholeheartedly. He needs.
Whereas the Samurai Cop guy, listen, you got a $7,000 lethal weapon. That's what you got. Yeah. That's what Lethal Weapon looks like at $7,000. That's the actors you get. That's the sets you get. $7,000. If it actually costs $7,000 to make, then that's what a $7,000 Lethal Weapon looks like. Whereas know what? Let's look up how much Lethal Weapon actually costs to make, and that'll give you the best. Let's see, Lethal Weapon movie cost
budget. Let's see, $15 million. So 15 times what Samurai Cop cost.
No.
There you go.
Samurai Cop cost $7,000.
Oh no, sorry. 15 times what Veronica cost.
Yeah. But yeah, 7,000 to 15 million.
Yeah.
And that's why Lethal Weapon looks the way it does, and that's why Samurai Cop looks the way it does. So, it's fun to make fun of, and it's an educational experience. Yeah. Now, I think we should move on from banging on to these two, and we should go on to
a truly fantastic movie.
A movie that I did not expect to be as amazing as it was.
And this is the thing. The comparison point for me, really, Veronica is kind of a just let's talk about it because we have to. But the real comparison is, and this is where I think watching Samurai Cop after this movie was the problem.
Because we watched The Boxer's Omen
first. Yeah, 1983's The Boxer's Omen.
It's such a good movie.
They use the word fever dream for a lot of movies. This is a pretty good one to use it for.
Yeah, it's got its interesting weirdness. And the thing is, to watch Boxer's Omen and then watch Samurai Cop, you're like, son of a bitch, because Boxer's Omen is so good.
I heard good things about both, but the level of difference in how much Boxer's Omen exceeded anything I'd heard.
Yeah, and the thing is, with Boxer's Omen, you have to get into the weird world of it. Because the thing is, if you're looking for like authenticity and reality, then you're in the wrong movie. But if you accept the fact that the spiders are a little adorable, if you accept the fact that there's a budget on this movie, and that certain things are meant to be what they are, even though they may not always look it, like the spiders look cheap, the snakes can look cheap, like they are on a budget. But if you accept that and get into the larger story of it, then it is a ton of fucking fun, and it is very ingenuitive. I mean, listen, the alligator that attacks the main character at one point in the movie doesn't look like a real alligator, but it's kind of fucking scary. And in the context, you realize what the fuck it's there for. The
thing I would say you have to be okay with. There's two main things. One is that at times
it's gross.
The effects are, you're right. They look like little knitted spiders, which is adorable, and I didn't care. Because I've watched many Italian films where the spiders just look plastic and fake as opposed to woolen and fake. Yeah. So whatever, who cares? And the other thing you're going to have to be okay with is animal cruelty to a limited degree, but it did happen, where they are actively killing and dismembering chickens in the movie.
Yes.
And the fact that people are eating things that will make you physically sick, depending on how sensitive. There are people eating food covered with actual maggots.
It's gross. They chew it up. They spit it out. I mean, they basically give black magic this very sort of disgusting squalor to it. Like
I think in the commentary I said, this more than most movies is showing you, because a lot of movies talk about, like let's take Star Wars for example. Oh, the dark side has a cost, but you know what? The cost seems awfully minimal most of the time. It's like, okay, I'm gonna have a lot of wrinkles, but I can shoot lightning from my fingers. I'm okay with that. I can fucking throw people around.
Darth Vader only has it as bad as he does because his poor decision skills and his inability to beat Obi-Wan.
Yeah, but honestly, a lot of these things talk about, what the cost of evil, whatever is, but you don't often see it in a very visceral way. In this movie, you have to climb a hill of gross, terrible stuff.
And the guts.
Yeah, blood, eating and regurgitating what you just ate. And being birthed from the witch you conjured, so I assume they must have been trapped in her womb the whole time or something. You're going to have to stitch up a dead alligator and smell that for a couple days. Like, it's not just, hail Satan, here's some chicken blood. I've got all the power.
Black magic smells bad.
You got to be fucking committed to evil to get that shit. And this movie shows more viscerally than I can't even think of another movie where it's like this. I can't think of one.
Yeah, and it's delightfully so foreign. I mean, that sounds like a weird thing, but like I like a movie that is so divorced from like Christian ethics, like it's on its own fucking plane. And this movie is, a fighter in Hong Kong. Basically, his brother is a boxer who gets paralyzed by what's his name? The guy from
Bolo Young.
Bolo Young, right? Bolo Young.
Yeah, I think it's Bolo Young.
Yeah, so Bolo basically cripples his brother. So the main guy, who seems to be like a crime guy, right, who starts having visions of some kind of monk, goes to Thailand to challenge Bolo to a fight. And when he's there, discovers there's this monastery. And when he goes to the monastery, he discovers that the monk he's been having visions of is essentially... a monk who recently died, was like 6 months ago or something like that, and they say, oh, we've been waiting for you, and they bring him into the room where there's this entombed monk, and the entombed monk speaks to him from the afterlife and basically says, in another life you and I were twin brothers, and we are still linked in this life, and if I die and do not achieve my next form, you will also die. So you have to help me, because helping me is helping you. At which point, our lead character, who is a womanizing, drinking,
he's a fun-loving gangster.
Oh yeah, and has incredible style. I have to say that when the main character is allowed to wear what he wants, he is a cool motherfucker.
He is.
He has to become a monk. In the very beginning of the movie, we've got a very sort of intense sex sequence up against the window of a house, which is very funny. So, and he even says, he's like, I have to give up sex? At which point you get this big monologue where he basically has to go through all these steps to become a superpowered monk to defend his twin brother from another life. And that whole sequence is interesting to watch. And they do some really cool animated things and to kind of demonstrate the movement of power and what he is inheriting and all this stuff. At which point he has a fight with the wizard who killed his twin brother from another life. And it is quite interesting. It's not a martial arts fight. It's a magic fight of wills. So there's, bats, and there's crocodile heads, and there's there's just all this weird shit. At one point, the evil wizard's head comes off, and he tries to Mystics of Bali, the main character. And when he is essentially saved by the sun, he essentially keeps the wizard fighting until the sun comes up, and the wizard gets melted. Our main character decides he can go back to his normal life now. And he's all done. His twin brother from another life is gonna, achieve his next form, and he's not gonna decompose, and the main character isn't gonna die, and everything's fine. Except the evil wizard has 3 apprentices, and they're pretty pissed off. So when the main character goes back to his life and has this fight that he's going to do with Bolo to revenge his... I mean, revenge is the big theme of this movie. To revenge his crippled brother. And as soon as he gets back to Hong Kong, the first thing he does is bet his girlfriend or wife. I thought it was his girlfriend, right?
Yeah, girlfriend as far as I know. Yeah.
Yeah, so the first thing he does is bet his girlfriend. And you're like, uh-oh. Even in the commentary, you can hear us go, uh-oh, did he just lose his power?
Right.
Meanwhile, the apprentices have gotten together, and they're going to build something to get revenge for them, where you get this huge sequence where they catch an alligator, and they cut it open, and they pull its guts out, and they do all this weird shit, chewing and spitting the innards, and then they take a dead body, and they sew it up in the alligator, and then eventually they pull it out.
It is exceptionally gross.
It's great, yeah. And then they fucking pull all this stuff off, and they make a woman. They make a woman of great power to basically take revenge on the lead. So the lead is in this fight with Bolo, and all of a sudden he starts, like, his vision starts going, and he's seeing maggots, and like he's basically being cursed by the evil alligator woman that the apprentices have created. And he somehow still miraculously wins the fight, which I totally thought he was going to get. It would have made more sense on some level if he got the shit kicked out of him by Bolo. But he does manage to just beat him, right? Because he just, and I appreciate that he won't give up, and that's what saves his ass. But then he goes back to Thailand because there's some weird mystical shit going on, and he needs to figure it out. And when he goes back to the monks, they're like, "Oh yeah, the apprentices are taking revenge, so we have to get you back into your monk training so you can fight them." And at which point there's the thing of, have you held on to all your monk rituals? At which point, it's almost like the main guy looks at the camera and he's like, yes. And you're sitting there going, when is this gonna catch up with you? So they go and they do all the monk stuff. And I love the sequence, by the way, when he goes into the tomb and starts yelling at his brother's altar, where the brother's like, where he's like, hey, where are you now? He's like, when you needed help, you fucking called me. He's like, now I need help. Where the fuck are you? Huh? And because he lies to the Buddha when they ask him, the monks won't help him. He will not get power from them. He has lied to Buddha. He broke the monkly rules, and so he gets no power. Which is when he starts yelling at his twin brother, and you get this great sequence where the twin brother comes back fucking pissed, and he's like, like, you're an asshole, man. He's like, you lied to Buddha. He's like, but there is a relic that might give you the power you need. He's like, in a tantric temple. And I looked it up, and apparently it's that the sex is not as big a rule in tantric Buddhism. So the fact that somebody had sex wouldn't necessarily mean that you couldn't be a tantric Buddhist. And so our lead goes to Nepal, right? Yeah, Nepal.
Yes.
Where you get some very interesting sequences of him basically wandering the city, where you're like, this is not a set. This is what Nepal looked like when they made this movie. And it is quite, I mean, it looks like something right out of Doctor Strange. But I think those were sets, whereas like this is the actual place. At which point, he finds the tantric temple, and he realizes he has to get there for sunset, which is when the relic reveals itself. It's in a tantric temple. And when he goes to try to steal the relic, the temple itself tries to fight him. So the statues, that is a really creepy sequence, isn't it? When the statues come to life.
Yeah, it's kind of, to get a vague idea of it, imagine the scene in Raiders of the Lost Ark where he's trying to get the sunbeam to illustrate where the Well of the Souls is, but the entire room starts to come at him to stop him from being able to put the Staff of Ra into the floor.
Yeah. So
that's
first
pretty much what it is.
Yeah, so first he has to fight the room itself. At which point the alligator woman shows up and starts basically kicking the shit out of him. But then sunset comes, and the relic reveals itself, and he manages to connect with it. And when he connects with it, he basically gets the power of a previous version of his ancestor, of his twin brother. And they, when unified, now they literally rip the skin off the alligator woman. Which is like, it's a really when you realize what he's doing, you're like, holy shit, did he just rip her skin off? And that's and the thing is, underneath, they do this, it almost looks like they knit an underbody. Is that what it looked like to you?
It did, yeah, that's what it looked like to me.
But the thing is, at this point, you're all in on the movie. So you're like, yeah, she's got a knit underbody.
It doesn't matter.
We're cool.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
And then she essentially gives birth to the three apprentices.
Yeah, she ejects the apprentices from her vagina in whatever
Yes.
form you want to describe that.
And
That's
then our
where they
main
come from.
character has to deal.
Sausage bags that they then tear out of.
Yeah. That looks kind of like saran wrap. At which point they get out of their sausage casing, and our hero has to use his relic power to defeat them, which he does, right? And then that's it. He gets to go back to being the cool dude that he is. His brother gets to achieve his next final form, and he gets to go back to Kong and have sex, and the curse is lifted, and life is good. And The Boxer's Omen is a cool ass fucking movie. No issues.
Yeah, it like I said, the only things I would warn people about is that they do kill chickens, which, that happens in almost every country where there is chicken,
Listen,
but it is on screen.
I eat a lot of chicken. I'm not going to be.
I understand.
Yeah.
It didn't bother me, but I want to let people know, because I certainly respect that some people don't want to see something.
There's
That's
a
fine.
lot of guts. There's a lot of gross.
In the same way that if I know a
chewing
dog
and
is going to die in a
spitting and-
movie, I have to really think about whether I'm going
Like,
to watch it. And some people will be like, that's silly. It didn't really die. And I'm like, yeah, that's not what the point is.
If you don't like pukey stuff either, there's a lot of that.
Yeah, that's the other element of it. That is, even without the chicken stuff, some of what they eat, I was borderline like, I don't know if I can watch this for much longer. Because
the evil wizards were gross, but they were meant to be,
Unlike another movie, which we'll be watching, and I'm not going to get any more specific on this, there's another movie that features maggots, but they're clearly not really alive, and they're literally, you could see the glue holding them onto some people's faces. Whereas in this, I was looking at the maggots and they were moving, and this movie did not have an effects budget high enough to convince me they built tiny animatronic maggots. So they clearly were eating these things, and then
were you
spitting
calling them
out
disco
the
rice?
chewed up mush of food and maggots. And if that's already making you have a problem hearing me say it, you will not be able to watch this movie, because you will be seeing it, and not briefly for 2 seconds. You're going to watch it for a little while.
Just beyond the hour and a half mark.
It was,
the damn thing crashed on us.
no exaggeration, those scenes were more disgusting
horn.
than anything I've seen in a Cronenberg film, and I've seen almost all of them.
Oh my God, you just came back. Holy shit.
What? Whoa, what do you mean?
Wow, you just totally blinked out on me for about a minute. You were gone.
Oh, wow.
And I was getting ready to text you that you were gone, and now you're back. Wow, that's amazing. Recovery.
None of my stuff stopped, so
none of my stuff stopped either,
me.
but you were gone.
No.
So I asked you.
All I was saying.
Hold on, I asked you really quickly. Weren't you referring to the maggots as disco rice in the movie?
Yeah, I think I was.
Okay,
yeah,
I just remember that. So go on.
Yes. But that's the only thing is what I'm saying is you're not going to just see it really briefly. If it was something that was a quick flash of a scene, I would say, you'll be fine. You're going to watch them literally ingest it, chew it up, and spit it out in the same scene. It's not cut. It's not like they suddenly put yogurt in their mouth.
No, they
are spitting back out what they ate.
Yeah, and they want to show you how gross the black magic is. For the power it gives you, the things you have to do.
And that's what I mean about it. It does show you what you're going to have to go through for this
Honestly,
particular power.
I would watch this with Mystics of Bali.
Oh, I agree.
This is a way...
Mystics of Bali.
Yeah.
Mystics in Bali is much easier for me to recommend because it does not have that gross element.
I think this is a much better movie than Mystics and Ballet, but I would watch them together because there are similarities in some of the mysticism.
They are a natural pairing.
Yeah,
no doubt about it. They
I
show
mean, but the martial arts stuff.
The other thing
is only in the ring. That's the only martial arts you get.
Yeah,
otherwise it's
the
all
boxer
battle
thing
of
is
wills.
somewhat unconnected as well. I kept expecting the bolo thing to connect, and it doesn't. So I'm not saying that as a negative. I just kept expecting there to be a tie-in to him, and there really wasn't.
Bolo is underused
baddest
in this.
Yeah, I mean, except for the fact that his physique is toweringly magnificent. I mean, it's just unbelievable. And you will see his speed at his size on full display, which is very impressive.
Yeah.
The only other thing I would say about it is that from what I understand, and this is where Lando and I are not Thai, we're not from these areas, so a lot of this cultural stuff's going to go right over our head, but apparently the way that certain things are depicted is viewed by some natives of those religions as racist.
Yeah. So apparently the Chinese, because it's a Hong Kong movie, essentially played it fast and loose with some of the Thai Buddhism.
Yes. And so some people are going to be
and we wouldn't know any
by
better because we weren't raised with any of that. So
right. So that's the only other thing I would say is if you are from areas where where Buddhism is a deeply intrinsic thing to you, and you will be offended by, what's the word for it? Heresy towards it or whatever, then don't watch this either. And I'm just saying that not because it didn't matter to us.
But weren't people upset with how the black magic was represented?
Oh, no, I think people on all sides were like, this is not an accurate representation. The same way I'm sure Satanists are pissed off at Hack-O-Lantern.
No, I know, but that's what I mean. Like, it's very funny if it's like a bunch of, like, hey, we're evil wizards, and we don't do that. That's very bad press for us. Like, we don't chew up terrible food.
Like I said, I'm just making everybody aware of this stuff because for some people it matters more.
We don't know any better.
Others.
Yeah.
Because we don't know any better. And, some people, I don't know if you heard me say that this movie is grosser than any Cronenberg film I've ever seen. It's no contest. I've never seen anything in a Cronenberg film that grossed me out as much as these guys eating maggoty chicken meat.
Yeah, I know. And then spitting out blood in the guts and things like that.
It's pretty bad. It's pretty bad. But I still watched it, and it still blew my mind because it is so committed to what it is doing that it's unlike anything else I've seen.
Yeah.
So... Again, this is all me. This is not me trying to warn people off it. I'm absolutely not doing that. But, unlike some people, unlike some people, I don't disregard that some people are affected by certain things in movies more than others. And so I'm just warning you up front.
Well, this is like, it's like Jackass. There's stuff in Jackass that it's all like puking and shit like that. My wife can't see that. Like, it drives her nuts.
It's gross. Yeah.
Yeah. So, there are gross elements of this movie. They are supposed to be gross. So if that is something that could potentially cause you to, dry heave, then, maybe it's a pass.
But it's the same thing. Like some people, if they smell vomit, they will vomit. I've never had that problem, but I know people who do. So I'm just saying, I'm warning you that there may be the whiff of vomit in visual form. So if that's going to affect you.
Your eyes may smell vomit.
Yeah, I don't want somebody to go into this and throw up because, they weren't aware of what they were going to be seeing. So I'm just telling you that that is in there.
That said, it is still a fucking awesome movie.
But fittingly for what the movie depicts, that is the price of seeing this depiction of insane black magic. So no black magic comes without a cost. That is the cost you must decide as the viewer whether that cost is worth it. I say it is, but that's me. You may have a different estimation of it. So but if you're fine with all that stuff, it is a wild and there's every 10 to 15 minutes, you're going to see something that is just searingly memorable. There's a part where the main guy is inside a jar with all this writing on it.
All the runes.
And the monks are charging him up, and all these runes Because I went, it would be awesome if he had actually got them tattooed. And then a couple of, like 2 minutes later, they suddenly all infuse into him in an animated style.
Well,
which
they
is
all
great.
they start spinning around him and they trickle up his arms across his body.
No,
yeah.
it's great.
Great.
And it's like, I don't think I've ever seen anything quite like that anywhere else. So it's that type of thing that the movie does. And the end fight is just completely off the goddamn wall. And it just keeps upping the weird factor to a ridiculous degree. And it never doesn't work. So, like I said, and I assume you as well, it was, I would recommend it. I just don't want people to go into it unaware of the fact that there's some stuff.
But I would recommend it to a specific crowd. Like, you really kind of have to be into kind of mystic martial arts movies of some kind or another.
Yeah,
you know what I mean,
that's
like,
all.
I wouldn't watch this with anybody.
It's great.
Oh, I loved it, but I wouldn't watch it with anybody.
I would probably watch it with Len. That's about it. Len would probably get a kick out of this thing.
Oh, has he not seen this?
I'll ask him. I'm going to say I doubt it.
Because, like, this, I mean, yeah, he should.
Yeah.
Because it's an interesting way to take martial arts and then kind of throw it into, like, a black magic movie at the same time.
Yeah, I mean, it's a unique film. Like I said, I'd heard about this movie over the years as something that had just segments that were unlike anything else. And it lived up to that. I would not have anticipated 60% of what this movie did. Because there were points where, I was like, okay, is this what's going to happen? Okay, yeah, that's what's happening. And then, but like the thing where they're melting the bat and the guy is so upset about his little bat friend being melted and is like, oh, and then the evil wizard and the good monk, or the good gangster monk, are having a psychic battle in this room that goes on for a good 20 fucking minutes, where the black magic guy keeps saying, okay, there's no way you can beat this. And then when that thing is defeated, he says, okay, there's no way you can beat this. And then that thing is defeated. It's like a fucking Charlie Brown football thing, where every time this guy says, there's no way you're going to survive this, okay, he's going to survive it. Just how's he going to do it? And he keeps doing it.
But he does barely survive it. I mean...
No, he does, but the other guy is saying with 150% certainty,
oh, yeah,
this time I'm going to fix you.
Yeah, that guy's all confidence.
Right. And he's a loon. Like that guy, too. He's not the kind of brooding, deadly serious black magic monk.
He's got a high-pitched voice, and he's like,
he's got this
I'm going to get you now. You'll
hair. It's great. So that's what I mean about a lot of the stuff that you would kind of expect to happen in this doesn't in really any way. And that's what makes it, I think, really effective outside of all the visual trippy stuff, which is great too.
I was trying to find out how much it cost to make this movie.
I don't even know. I don't know if there would even be
no
a budget for it
on this.
I mean, let's put it this way. It was a Shaw Brothers movie, so it had to have some degree of resources. I doubt it was a high budget film, but it probably had a decent budget. So would I say $1 million? Maybe. It might, because they were actually in locations. You know what I mean? They had to fly people
there
places.
is no information on the cost of the movie.
Yeah, that would be tough to figure out, because the Shaw Brothers made so many movies that they clearly did have money.
Yeah, they basically had a whole studio, like, just trying these out. So,
and they probably saved costs by going to places where they had agreements with countries and stuff. I mean, I'm sure that it wasn't, this was not a high budget feature, but it obviously had to have some budget just for the effects work. Yes, the spiders were clearly somebody's grandmother knitted them, but the giant alligator that they sewed together that a woman was inside of, moving the animated, like you have to build all that stuff. You have to have that. So there was the giant pot that the guy was in. Like, that was an actual giant pot. That big face, which we're not sure if that was real or not, which itself is interesting. I don't know if that thing existed. I'm 50-50 on whether that giant Buddha face exists or not.
Oh, man.
But
you know what you just remind me of? In Samurai Cop, the lion face, the big art piece that they just keep they keep like managing to get into the shot with the girl when she's talking. That thing was nuts.
Yeah.
Sorry, you just reminded me of that.
No, Samurai Cop has some location stuff that you'll remember too. But
no, Boxer's Omens is it's such a strange movie. It's so different than what I expected. And yet it goes confidently and with style all the way through.
No, like I said, outside of the really truly gross elements that you can tell are real, and the animal stuff and some of the cultural insensitivity, if you're sensitive to that stuff, which most people probably aren't if they're not Buddhists, but the fact that they're actually eating really gross shit is the biggest barrier, I think, for most people. Because even the chicken thing, yeah, you're right. I mean, most people have to know that their chicken doesn't just fall out of the sky. But when you see them eating stuff, they're eating shit covered with maggots, that's going to be tough for people to stomach. So that is the biggest warning I would give people is just, when you see them start to eat stuff, just close your eyes for a minute, maybe. Because it's worth it for the other stuff, but it is there. So I would recommend it. I just don't want people to, I don't want anybody to throw up on their partner because we didn't warn them about you know what I mean?
You know what? Listen, I've been married to my wife for a number of years, and I have never puked on her. And that is, you're right.
Yeah,
that is something now that I aim to not puke on my partner at any point. Good job, Joe. You gave me something to strive for.
Did you ever imagine in your life, as part of the show, we would have to give a vomit warning to people for movies? But I mean, we do. Just to be fair about it. That's all I'm saying is,
don't vomit on your partner, guys. It's not good.
Yeah. Maybe screen this one first yourself if you think you can take it, and then decide if you want to watch it with anybody else. But I have not seen anything else that is quite like this, which is great. I mean, the thing where the things that will stick in my mind from this, the 3 scenes that are seared in, is one where all those cuneiforms phase into him. I mean, it's just basic animation, but it looks fantastic.
And he's got all the ropes going in from the monks.
Oh, it's
his
the
hands.
whole visuals. Yeah. It's all just
they're charging.
Great.
It's cool. They're charging him up. Is essentially what's going on.
Yeah, they're feeding their energy into him. Unfortunately, them eating the gross shit, I'm not going to be able to shake that for a while because the realization that it is in fact real, that those guys probably were in some danger if they didn't really carefully sanitize whatever they were eating.
I love the fact that they put the dead body in the crocodile after gutting it.
Oh yeah. Yeah,
like
that whole scene.
There's stuff in there that's just great.
And then when they tear the skin off the woman and she gives birth to the 3 other guys.
I mean, that was so sudden. I was like, holy shit, he pulled the skin off her.
Yeah, I didn't. On the commentary, you'll hear me not quite sure if that's what happened. And then we realize, no, that's what happened. Because it is very quick. And then she falls down. You can't really see her for a second. I'm like, wait, did he rip her skin off? And like, yeah, he ripped her fucking skin off. It's like, holy shit.
Yeah.
All right.
My worry was that when they went to a tantric temple, that there was going to be some kind of like special martial arts fuck sequence that we were going to get. And they were like, no, man, this is wizards, man. Battle of wills.
Well, the black magic witch, you see all of her. There is nothing hidden when she first comes alive. Yeah. So, there is that too. If you're not used to prominent body hair, you're going to see it. I don't know how else to put it.
Okay. Oh, you know what, though? It can't be as bad as the other movie we watched where we actually thought she was wearing underwear.
Oh, God, what movie was that? With the killer? Frankenstein 80.
Yeah, where we were like...
Yes. We did not confuse a thong for pubic hair in this film.
No.
You're correct. Oh. Because at no point did we ever think that black magic witch was going to have clothes on, and she didn't. So
no, she doesn't. She really has got like a weird sort of metal bikini at one point.
Yeah, that's
and yet,
it.
Listen,
but that's later.
She's scary as fuck when she shows up, though.
Yeah,
I'm like, you're not sitting there going, great. "Ooh, she's yeah." And the thing is,
she's a threat.
Yeah, and this movie is so nutty and kooky, and the special effects aren't perfect, and yet it still makes it still blows Veronica so far out of the water that it's in another universe.
Yes.
You know?
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, yeah, even you know what? Even the short fight where the monk fights the first wizard in the airport.
Yeah.
Where they have this simple effect on the guy's skin like he's melting. And it's so well done, you know?
Yeah.
So yeah, all of it. It's just such a delightfully strange movie. For for at least for a lapsed Christian raised American, I suppose, right?
Sure.
Not really lapsed, because I've.
Well, I mean, the reality is this movie's visuals are, you and I have talked many times about movies we've watched. We're like, oh yeah, these movies were on all the times when we were kids on like, Cinemax or TBS or whatever, late night movies. They were in the video store. This shit was not here.
No.
Or it was in a video store I never visited.
Never heard of it. Never saw it. No.
Yeah. Whereas there's a good portion of things that we've reviewed that, you've said, oh yeah, I remember seeing this. This was in a video store, or this was on the channel I was watching. I saw this.
Listen, I've seen movies. I've seen movies like Samurai Cop. I've seen movies like Frankenhooker. Like not quite. I mean, Frankenhooker is very well done, but I've seen movies that attempted that. Yeah.
But Evil Dead 2 is an analog, right? It's something like what we've seen.
Yeah.
Nothing I've seen is like this. Boxer's Omen is its own goddamn thing.
No. I mean, the way it handles these wizard fights, and then on top of that, the martial arts. I mean, it's like it's two movies almost, in like perfectly put together. Like
Mystics in Bali, which is another movie that I had never seen anything like before. You're right; they're very close in that you're getting these very localized types of magic.
Yeah.
In Mystics in Bali, it's the disembodied head with the organs.
Which, the main evil wizard does use that attack at one point, where he rips his own head off and attacks him. Yeah.
No, but Boxer's Omen, just like the thing where they're sewing a woman up inside of an alligator to create a black magic witch, like, I ain't never seen that. No. And like the pot scene with all the lettering going into him, like the idea of how they build a new monk because he's related to another monk that's dead, but as long as he doesn't decompose, it's okay. And they cover him in gold foil so he can ascend to his next form. And the new monk is the brother or whatever, the cousin is all pissed off because he's like, God damn it, this has nothing to do with me. It's not my fault I'm related to you. I hate you. He's like, he slaps him, the body at one point, and he's all pissed. And the other monk's response is, hey, this card's you dealt, man. You're going to have to do it. He's like, I don't want to do it. Like he's whining almost.
Yeah.
He's like, I just want to go back to being a gangster and fucking. I don't want to do this shit anymore.
I mean, that's what he wants. He wants to go back to being a gangster.
To bring it back around to Val Kilmer and Real Genius, it's like when Mitch wants to quit school because they played the recording of him or because Hathaway yelled at him. The monk has a Mitch meltdown, but it's in such a radically different context from what Real Genius is. So, yeah. This, along with Mystics in Bali, you're right, perfect double feature in terms of, unless you are from wherever those movies are set and have some familiarity with the religion and mythology and kind of the lore, you are likely have never been exposed to anything as wild as this. This is very similar to, one of the things I love is there's a couple of accounts that I follow, and every so often one will be like, okay, here's the weird Japanese yokai of the week. And yokai, if you don't know what that is, are these Japanese folklore monsters that tend to have very specific traits. Like
I love the
hag
fact
that dwells in the bathroom, and if you fart in her presence, she'll tear your eyes out and insert corn cobs into your skull. Like shit like that.
Isn't there some like evil spirit that always resides in like the third door of a bathroom?
There is something like that, yes.
Yeah.
And if you do just the wrong thing.
But anything that lives over 100 years, it can have a soul. Or something like that. So they have all these
something like that. But that's what I'm saying is
paintings of everyday objects with eyes and being alive.
All right, here it is. The Akamanto, the red cape. Japanese urban legend about a masked spirit who wears a red cloak and appears to people using toilets in public or school bathrooms. The one consistent element of the story is the spirit will ask the occupant of the toilet a question. In some versions, they will ask if you want red or blue toilet paper, though other versions identify the choices as a red or blue cloak or a cape. Choosing either option will result in the individual being killed, so the individual must ignore the spirit, which is very similar to that other animated thing I was watching, or reject both options and flee in order to survive. Just as the individual is about to wipe, they will be asked this question. Oh, wow. If you try to be clever and say yellow, a mix of red and blue, and that's not true, head will be dunked into the toilet water and be held there until you drown. So even a trick response doesn't
Yeah,
work.
like, where did that come from?
Yep. Started in the 30s, apparently. So I don't know. But, yeah. Yep. I mean, and that's not the only one that's a bathroom spirit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Here, this is probably the one you were talking about because this is an ancient one. The Akaname. They are naked. Their skin is greasy like their hair. They come in many colors and varieties. Let's see. Like cockroaches, rats, lice, and other pests, Akaname detest clean, well-kept homes. They only appear when owners show a complete lack of sanitary discipline. They are shy and stay clear of humans, scattering in the light like cockroaches. They spread disease, so it's a good idea to keep bathrooms and houses clean enough that Akaname do not wish to settle down. Well, that's an obvious hygiene one. Well, that one crawls. It's like crawling on the ground. There's a picture of it.
But is it like a monster? Like,
yeah, it's monstrous. It's like it's kind of. It looks like here. I'll say it's pretty monstrous looking. Here, let me send this to you in the chat. You'll see it. I would call that monstrous. It's kind of a weird.
Yeah, I don't want that in my house. You're right.
Yeah, I don't want that in a dirty bathroom. Yeah. And like I said, there is a whole subset of them. The Atlas Obscura has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Oh, man, these are great. The Yatamori? Which is the Yatamori? You've totally derailed me.
Uh-huh. Oh, there's lots. Yeah. General, interesting. Wow. Yeah, there's some really wacky ones in here.
Yeah, there are. Well, there you go.
Oh,
tell people.
God.
Tell people the website so they can go give themselves nightmares.
Well, go to atlasobscura.com and look up Japanese bathroom ghosts. But the most horrifying one I will leave you with for this episode is Kashima Rieko. This legend concerns a young girl said to be the ghost of a young woman who died when her legs were severed by a train. Her legless torso now haunts bathroom stalls, asking unlucky visitors, "Where are my legs?" The only correct response is on the Meishin Expressway, which might save your life. Otherwise, you are likely to have your legs torn off. She won't kill you. She'll just tear your fucking legs off. Oh boy. And there is a apparently short movie showing this torso-less girl walking around. So, there you go.
Well, funny
or
shit.
the kappa that can be farted away, which I like. You can fart them away. If you fart in their face, they leave you alone. That's a fun one. So, not the legless girl looking for her legs that were cut off. Yeah.
Yeah.
On that note, everybody.
Yeah, the website was it yokai.com?
That's the one I sent you. Yeah.
AI.com. They've got a lot of really good ones here. If you want to read on all the weird kinds of demons and monsters that can appear. Yeah, there's some wacky ones here. Yeah.
There are lots. There's actually some old movies I have to watch that are centered around yokai that are kind of anti-heroes.
Yeah.
The movie series, I think it was 3 of them called 100 Yokai. I haven't watched them yet, but they're like from the 50s. They look really wacky because they have the big kind of Godzilla-style costumes for the monsters. It looks great. I just haven't gotten around to watching it. But I think there's 3 of them.
Oh, wow.
Here it is. Yeah.
No, I just found this weird one called the Chinuya. Chinuya?
Yeah.
So Chinuya are Okinawa spirits which resemble ghostly human women with long black hair that hangs down as if just washed and exceedingly large breasts. Their facial expressions show gentle motherly kindness. Chinuya live in rivers near graveyards where children are buried. They emerge from the water to look after the spirits of dead children, nourishing them in the afterlife with their milk.
Oh,
It's
wow.
very specific.
Boy, is it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I just sent you an image
Despite
of one of those movies.
Despite their kind appearance and motherly nature, Tenuya can be very dangerous. Their nurturing has the opposite effect if the subject is a living child, quickly causing them to weaken and die. When children wander too close to the water where a Tenuya lives, the Tenuya will pull them down into the depths and drown them.
Jesus.
How's that for some shit? What did you just send me?
I'm sending you pictures from that 100 Yokai movie or whatever.
Oh my god, look at this shit. Oh, we gotta watch
Looks
this.
wacky, right?
Oh
Late
my
60s.
God.
Oh, yeah, I have them. We can watch
It's like Henson was doing some drugs here.
Seriously. Yeah. Well, that's the thing about the yokai stuff is there's so many of them.
Yeah, there are.
There's a ton. So
Yeah.
you can really get lost in that. And should.
Yeah, there you go.
Anyway, in summary, I think we would recommend both Samurai Cop and Boxer's Omen. We would not recommend, but for the most durable of Spirit, Veronica, and I would only say watch the first part. That's it. It is free to watch. If you want to laugh at terrible accents, just watch the albino spider de Jet, and then stop. The rest is not generally recommendable. And Samurai Cop and the Boxer's Omen. Samurai Cop is the most mainstream recommend top to bottom, where you have a lot of fun watching it with people, and it's relatively inoffensive.
Watch it once with
like
friends.
Nudity.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Boxer's Omen is dynamite as long as you're okay with some of the elements within it. That's the only thing. But they are still minimal. You know, they are gross, but it's not like it's every scene. But you're gonna have to, like I said, if you see somebody start to put something towards their mouth and it's gonna gross you out, just look towards the North Star for a bit, and then come back down a couple times. And once it's over, you'll be fine. But you'll never have seen anything else like it. Honestly, it is singular so far in our viewing. If we come across something else like it, we'll tell you. But so far, this is on a special shelf of holy fuck. You know, that's the label on the shelf. And on that note, everybody, yeah, we've reviewed a lot of movies compared that we both watched, which is highly unusual. So you have a range, and I believe everything we've talked about, you can watch for free. Yes, every movie, Boxer's Omen is on YouTube in its entirety. Frankenhooker's free. Samurai Cop is... Samurai Cop's the only one. Let me just verify that one. I believe it is. I think everything we've mentioned, this is the best part. I think they're all free to watch. Samurai Cop is on Tubi, Plex, Pluto. Yeah, so that's freely available. So all the movies we've talked about, you can watch for no cost, which is actually great. That's rare. I've talked about more than a few movies that I wish more people could watch. So for us to have every movie we've covered be publicly freely available, that's great. So if any of these appeal, feel free to go watch them. And I would genuinely love to hear from people who watch any of these that that either never heard of them or never would have considered them before we talked about them. If you watch these things, good or bad, please tell me about it. Because we have covered such a range in just these 2 episodes of reviews, where really anybody listening should have something that they are interested in watching. We have hit the whole goddamn deck of cards with this.
God, I gotta shut that site down. Oh my god, there's such weird shit there. You just got me down like a fucking
and also
rabbit hole of evil fucking Japanese spirits. Holy hell.
See? Yeah.
Woo!
Yeah. There's lots of them. So anyway, yeah. I actually am very, very happy with these last 2 episodes, this one and the one before, because we don't usually cover this much ground in just 4 movies. We have covered a lot of ground. So, like I said, I would love to hear from people. Or if you've seen these and we're like, oh, wow, finally somebody else watched them. Tell me too. I'm always thrilled to hear from people about the wacky shit. So, I'm all ears. On that note, whatever you do, enjoy your weekend. And who knows what movie we shall come back to you with next. But in any event, enjoy your weekend and we'll talk to you again next week. Visit OzoneNightmare.com to subscribe to new episodes, browse through our back catalog, or to find links to support the show. Follow at Ozone Nightmare on Twitter for the latest episode postings and other show information. If 280 characters just isn't enough, you can always email us, theozonenightmare@gmail.com. The opening theme for the show is provided by Heartbeat Hero. The closing theme is provided by Ogre. Please visit and support these artists using the links in the show notes for each episode.